Now, the part you've been waiting for. So, Film Score Fest. How many of you have participated before as a creator? Anyone? Yeah. I think it's best to just show you a quick example of what we do. So this is from 2 years ago. What we have is pretty special because, as the composers know for sure, working with a large ensemble like this is kind of a special thing. And filmmakers, how often do you get to actually work with live players in scoring something? So how does it work? So after our talk here, I'm going to open up the sign-ups, and we'll have a couple computers in the back. You sign up as a filmmaker or composer, and we can randomly pair you up with somebody, or if you know a composer or a filmmaker, if you meet them tonight, you can sign up together. Otherwise, we'll randomly sign you up. The filmmaker makes a film under 5 minutes based on the mystery meet, which is, we'll explain what the theme is for this year in a bit. And the composer will write sheet music for the orchestra to play. They're all really good players, and they can almost sight read most things, but we do have 3 rehearsals beforehand, and then we have our screening in, this year it's going to be July 20th, and I'll bring that up here too. Then when you submit everything, we have a panel of judges. In the past, we've been able to screen everything mostly, but because of time constraints, we may have to cut. So even if you don't make it into the screening, my hope is that you'll still have a good experience, and you'll still work with a composer who will have at least a mock-up file for you. But my hope is that you'll get to come to the screening and see your film with an orchestra. So important dates. We'll be emailing you these when you sign up, but once you sign up, your filmmaker will have 2 months about to make the film. Then they pass it off to the composer, and the composers have about a month to make them. And then the orchestra rehearses, and we'll have the screening. So filmmakers, think about how you can use music differently maybe than you have in the past. And why not bring the composer in early and brainstorm some ideas? That's kind of a good thing to try and do. You can have dialogue in your movies, obviously, and sound effects and stuff. But, it's kind of cool to sometimes use silence in your film and let the orchestra do the work. So in the past, we've had maybe 50-50 films that are actually just silent films with score, and some that use dialogue. But whatever you're inspired to do. And then, 5 minutes is the max, so you can do a 1-minute film if you want. And, if there's enough short films, maybe we'll be able to screen more. But cutting can kind of make your film stronger, too. And then you're going to send your film to your composer and us at info@FilmScoreFest. Again, we'll email this to you. Composers will have one of each orchestral instrument, plus piano, sax, drum set. And this year, based on the theme, we're going to try something. It's not 100% sure, but based on the mystery meet, we are thinking that we're going to try and add a theremin as one possible option. So I don't know if you've ever seen a theremin, but you control it with your hands. So I'm sure all the composers are like, oh, all right. But we also, hour and a half, we're debating about an hour and a half of theremin might be a little tiring. So feel free to not use it or just sparingly. But we'll still getting that in the works. We'll let you know as soon as we can. Composers, we know you also want to use every orchestra instrument possible. You don't have to. You can use a smaller ensemble within that. Don't overpower the dialogue if you can help it. That's just a tip we've learned from the past. It's kind of, if they're clashing too much, it's hard. And then I'll ask you to make a click track because our conductor, Yuri Ivan, he's really good. And he's learned how to use a click in his ear and conduct to that with the live players, which is harder than it sounds because the musicians are people too. Yeah?
2 bars?
Yeah.
Given 2 bars?
Yep, I think that's what we did. I'll email you all the details, and I can help guide you in how to make that if you need help. And then, yeah, we're going to send PDFs of the score, the parts, final film with demo music. So ideally, you can make a demo track that will be, so it'll help our conductor learn exactly where the music cues should be. And again, we can help you figure that out if you're struggling. And June 2nd is the date on that. Just a few quick composing tips. 8.5 by 11. Make sure all the measures are readable, like not too scrunched. You can put the movie cues up at the top, maybe a piece of dialogue or a visual cue, just to help the conductor. And our conductor likes to have the measures wide enough that, you know, sometimes in the past people have done like skinny measures. That doesn't help. And then keep the blank staves in. So there's some technical stuff for composers. So now, the theme. What is it going to be this year? And unseen. So think about that. Whatever it inspires, that's going to be your prompt. With that, I want to get a few questions out of the way that people tend to ask. Can I use a film already in progress? This one, the spirit of this challenge is that you're making something new and working with a composer from scratch. So ideally, that's the case. But you know, sometimes you might have something that you're like, but it really works with the theme. We can't 100% enforce that, but try to make something from scratch. This is one that people wonder about, will I get an audio recording? We will give you a recording of the rehearsal and the performance, but don't expect that it's going to be like the most pristine quality that you're going to put with your film and it's going to sound amazing. This is really about the event and like making something unique for the event. Also, you're going to get audience noise in that recording, so if people are laughing, you know, that's great. So, but it's going to be a little weird if you try to put that with the film.
Unless your plan had to incorporate laughing.
Unless, well, there you go. That's a good challenge. The other exciting thing this year about this, we are talking right now with IPR, and they are actually willing to record one of the scores for free, which is really nice of them to sponsor. Now we just have to make sure we can pay the musicians to come in for an extra day. So we are going to be having an award for one film that will get recorded at IPR, assuming we can get the second grant that we tend to get, but we can't officially announce that yet. But just something to keep in mind, a little bit of an incentive for this year. And that would be like studio quality recording. Okay, composers, what if I don't know how to write sheet music? It is a pretty big part of this, but you can sign up. Some people just don't do it, or maybe they're really new and they're not sure. So what we're doing, and we've done in the past, is you can sign up and you can ask for a mentor. And you can also sign up and be a mentor if you want to help someone else. We have usually too many composers that sign up versus filmmakers. So this will also be a way, let's say some composers signed up too late and they can't get a filmmaker. They might be able to help you as a mentor or something, and you can kind of collaborate. But feel free to email us if you're not sure about how to make that happen. Can I use instruments not on the list? And I'll email that list to you again. Generally, no, but last year we did try having a vocalist come up, and it worked out really well. I think people who saw that one, that was Beth's film, and Dua Soleil was up there singing, and it was really cool. So just check with us beforehand to see if it's logistically possible. Normally it's hard to do because we're pretty scrunched up there, and just like coordinating the rehearsing time and stuff is tricky. So you do have a lot of instruments to pick from, so hopefully that'll work for you. Can you start with the music instead of making the film first? And yes, you can. That's actually, as long as you coordinate with your composer, and maybe the composer's like, okay, I have this great idea, but we need to do the music first, and then make the film around that. That's totally okay, as long as you just work it out. And finally, if anyone has questions, then now's the time. Anything you're wondering about?
Where do the orchestra members kind of come from? Community or like local kind of?
Yeah, it's just people who have been with the orchestra for a few years, some from the very beginning, and yeah, they're all really good, so yeah.
On the earlier film deadline, when the film needs to go to the composer, is that a hard deadline? Can you keep working on color grades and VFX after that?
Picture lock, yes, but
Okay.
just make sure like most things are done for them.
Okay.
Yeah, yep. And hopefully you send it to me. By the time the composition is due, the film also has to be done.
Right.
So, yep. Other questions? All right. Well, you can always come ask us later if you have something you think of later. But that pretty much wraps it up. So now's the time to sign up and also say hi, meet people, make sure. I'm sorry I didn't put some name tags down. I was going to do that. But meet people, ask them what kind of style they like to compose or what kind of films they like to make. And if you find someone that's like, oh, that's great, let's sign up together. That's cool. But anyways, yeah, we'll just be hanging out here. You can go grab more drinks and snacks and enjoy. Good luck with your films. So.
It's under your skin and you don't know why. It's making you feel